Friends, after having watched a very touching video on Solace, it's difficult for anyone to talk more about that. I'm sure some of you must have heard about Solace earlier. Some of you must be listening to it for the first time. So to you, what should I say? I can only say why I am a co-traveler with Solace. Of course, Shiva has given me some position here and there, I suppose. I don't know what it is, some member somewhere. But apart from that, they are all ceremonials. What is important is walking with Shiva, walking with Solace. What is it that prompts me to walk with Solace? People who are well-wishers here sitting in this hall, you have all come to understand what Solace is all about. I'm sure this video must have conveyed sufficiently well what she is doing. But I should make a few clarifications. Like in Kerala, for example, there are any number of charitable organizations. There are any number of voluntary organizations doing service to all kinds of people. And there is need for so many organizations also. But Solace stands out. What is it that makes Solace different? To understand that, I'm sure this video has helped you, but I'm sure Shiva will talk to you later, I suppose. For any organization to have a soul of itself, I think there is a need for 4 C's to come together. 4 C's. C. I would call it, there should be a compulsion behind it. There is no option. There has to be a compulsion. I have to do this. So when an organization springs out from the compulsion of the leader, that is 1 C. Then secondly, conviction. Not only compulsion, there should be conviction. Yes, what I am doing is the right thing to do and I have to do it. That compulsion coupled with conviction plus commitment. I have to execute it and I shall do it whatever be the odds against it. And of course, all led by the final say, that is compassion. That is the base. If you have the compassion, you have the commitment, you have the conviction, and you have the compulsion, I think then a beautiful organization will be born. And that is Solace all about. It is a beautiful organization because it satisfies all these norms. It came into being from a compulsion, from an emotional compulsion of Shiva. I'm sure she will explain it, how she lost her daughter to cancer after long treatment, long years of expensive treatment. Finally, she's not with us. I knew her. I spent wonderful moments with her, but finally, she's not with us. Much before she was with us, even when she was with us, Shiva realized the need for providing solace. That name is also not one of those good words. It means what it says, solace. In my not so short association with Solace, I am a person, although I am a poet and all that, you don't want to see pain, you see. All of us are all escapists in some way or the other. The kind of life Shiva leads is something which most of us cannot lead. I can vouchsafe that. You might be willing to pay money. Okay, do this, do that. But to spend your life, to spend your day in Solace, meeting people who are suffering, for whom life is a challenge, that's not easy. It requires tremendous amount of emotional energy and conviction. And Solace looks after families whose children have long-term illnesses. Let us pray that Solace becomes unnecessary in Kerala, because that is the ideal. No child should get sick. But then the reality is entirely different. More and more children are getting sick. We do not know why. More and more children are getting sick. And once the child is diagnosed with a terminal illness or a difficult illness like cancer or something else, from Shiva I have the first-hand report, information. It's a shame for men. It's a shame for men. The first thing that men do is to get away from the family, to dump the family. But the mother cannot dump the child. The mother has to look after the sick child. So where does she go? Her livelihood is gone. Her support from the husband is gone. Family is alienated. So she has to take care of this child. And where does she go? And that is where Solace comes in. When she really needs Solace, Solace is there. And the engagement with a patient or a mother is a lifelong engagement. As long as the child is alive and at least till he or she is 18, Solace is with them. Not only giving medicine, but all kinds of support, emotional support, financial support, medicinal support, all kinds of support. As some of these people who appeared on this video said, Tanal Maramana, you give protection. You are in such bald daylight, scorching daylight, sunshine, and therefore this is the tree. Sheba oru nanma maramanu ennaanu njan parayunnu. For some of you who know Malayalam, I cannot translate it to English. Sheba oru maramaanennu matramalla, Sheba oru nanma maramanu ennu njan parayum. She had the option not to do this. She had the option just to take care of her child. But even when the child was alive, she started Solace, giving support to the family as a whole. I think I started by saying, why is Solace different? One, of course, Solace looks after the family in an integrated, holistic manner, not piecemeal. Like we in government, what do? If we are asked to give money to a parent, we'll ask for all kinds of certificates. Certificate. Are you alive? That is the first question. Bring certificate to prove that you are alive. We bureaucrats are capable of asking even more stupid questions. The fellow has come in front of you, but we will say, where is your life certificate that you are alive? Solace doesn't ask that kind of questions. Solace just addresses the needs. That is wonderful. Even addressing the psychological needs of the mothers. The mother should not feel heavy by dependence in an organization. Therefore, Shiva has discovered that there should be some kind of economic activity by which they feel that they are contributing. Although they are not contributing much, I am sure. The economic impact may not be much, but the emotional impact of that engagement is very much there. And that, of course, is the real solace of that institution, of that organization, because it looks after the physical, medicinal, emotional health of the parent and the family. One last point, I don't want to take much of your time. Just because you are attentive, I should not be overdoing it. There are, as I said, any number of organizations in Kerala. I am also associated with several charities. Firstly, we should not call these charities. I thought we should call it purities. Because when we come to Solace, it should not be charities, but purities. Purity of thought, purity of action, purity of ideas, purity of purpose. It's all pure. There is nothing else. It is unadulterated thought, unadulterated conviction, unadulterated action. From the financial point of view, from official point of view, I feel proud to be associated with Shiba and her organization because I don't have to be ashamed of anything. I don't have to be afraid that tomorrow her accounts are going to be inspected. They are going to discover something bad. Not at all. Shiba is the most, although she has a very kind-hearted, she's a very kind-hearted person, she's an equally very, very tough person. In the sense, the way in which the finances are controlled and managed in the organization is something remarkable. Anybody who gives 1 rupee or $1 can be rest assured that that entire dollar goes for the purpose for which it is donated. That I can vouch. And it is that conviction that makes me, because after all, CP John will vouch, in Kerala, we live only by reputation. That is all we have. If your reputation is gone, you are finished. So we don't want to lend our names to organizations which will get tarnished sooner than later. With Shiba's organization, one can rest assured that the integrity of the organization is supreme. The amount that is diverted or used for organizational purposes, establishment purposes, is far below what is allowable. I think X percentage is allowed for running the organization. She runs it much less, with a much less institutional cost, because she doesn't entertain people who are parasites on this organization. She is a what should I say, a very tough taskmaster that way. She's a very tough taskmaster. And that is also important. On the one side, you have to be very soft. Your heart has to be very soft. But when it comes to rational handling of an organization, she has that kind of toughness by which the purity of this organization will always be kept. So I do not want to take much of your time, as I said. Therefore, every association with Solace is an opportunity given to us to touch the hearts of people. And people require it. It is not like in America, I don't know whether you will be able to even conceive this. If you have the insurance coverage, you fall sick, the first question is whether you go to a doctor or not, whether you have insurance coverage. Okay. If you have the insurance coverage, then you can comfortably fall sick, Whereas in our place, there is nothing insurance, no insurance, other than what God insures you, that's all. Everything is broken. Everything is broken. You don't have anywhere to go. There is nobody to support you. The child has to be looked after, and that is where, of course, government has schemes. I'm not saying that you are totally abandoned, but they are all insufficient. It is all suboptimal. Institutions like governments and all that cannot look at a family in its holistic, emotional manner. That is beyond governments. It is only humane organizations like Solace who can look at individuals as a unit, family as a unit, address the emotional needs and all other needs. I think Solace is unique that way. Solace, the integrity of Solace is beyond doubt. Therefore, people sitting in this hall and who are not here, please be very generous with Solace, because it goes to the right kind of people and they deserve it. They are fellow human beings who were leading normal lives till their children were diagnosed with an illness. The yesterdays and tomorrows are so starkly different. The days that they enjoyed before the child was diagnosed with a sickness and the days after that, they're night and day. So let us bring some light into the night of their lives. I think that is what Solace is all about. I thank the organizers here, particularly Brinda and her team. I am really amazed and impressed by the nature, by the discipline in which it has been done, the flavor in which it has been done, that talks volumes about the purity of their heart. So I think God has given us an opportunity to come together and strengthen Solace for a wonderful cause. If our money can go and touch somebody's lives, make somebody's lives brighten, bring smile to somebody's life, I think that is a great blessing given to us by God. As I say sometimes, Shiva is not a person, but a fragrance. That is a fragrance of purity, fragrance of service, and fragrance of goodwill that she has given us to be associated with her great movement. I wish Solace all the very best, and I thank you all for joining us this evening to make this a memorable evening. Thank you very much. Did I take too long?